What should your starting price be? Here's a question that everyone has an opinion on, and usually a strong one. And the simple answer is that there is actually a simple answer, but it conflicts with what most sellers do. Almost universally, with very few exceptions, the best price to start eBay listings at is 99 cents, or the equivalent in your local currency. Now, some of you may be nodding in agreement, while others are vehemently shaking their heads, and still others are intrigued. So let's explain the psychological and statistical reasons behind this strategy. There is a predictable and inevitable process that starts to take place when you list an item for 99 cents. I should clarify that this only works if it's obvious that the item is worth more than 99 cents. Should be obvious, but it needs to be said, and I don't want people wasting their time to contact me telling me that. So, back to the plot. As soon as you list an item at 99 cents, it attracts bids pretty much immediately because it's seen as a bargain. And attracting bids is the key to success on eBay because bids attract bids, like bees to a honeypot. If an item doesn't have any bids, it's a much bigger step for a buyer to place a bid because no one wants to be the first. Think about this from your own experience as a buyer on eBay. How often are you the first person to place a bid on an item? And if you were the first, what was the starting price? I told you that there was a psychology behind this, didn't I? So here's what happens. When someone bids on an item, they mentally take ownership of it. Even though the auction is still going, they believe that the item is theirs. Because when they place their bid, they are obviously the high bidder of the item. So when you start at such a low price, you attract lots of people who all believe that they're going to get a bargain, and in placing a bid, they commit to buying it. They make an unconscious claim of ownership of that item. The net result is that you have a bunch of bidders who all believe the item is theirs. This is a fantastic position to be in as a seller because in almost every case the final bid ends up being far more than if you had listed the item at a starting price that was closer to the true value. As an example, let's say that you've got an item that you want to sell for $300. If you list the item to start at $200, then you'll probably get 200 and something, maybe 300 for it. If you start the item at 99 cents, the price will rise very rapidly within the first day or so, and again near the end, and it will invariably result with a far higher ending amount. The reason for this is the initial interest the auction attracts. Lots of bidders. An item with a very low starting price will attract far more interest than one that's closer to the true value of the item. Another factor that comes into play is pride. When someone else comes along and places a higher bid on their item, it feels like an insult. Think about this in your own experience as a buyer. So bidding at that point becomes less about the actual money involved and more about attaining the item. So they end up bidding far more than the item is really worth and that they really should have done, and more than they intended to. A similar situation often occurs with inexperienced buyers in offline auctions. It's all about the numbers. The more bidders you have, the more people who have taken ownership of the item, the more they will fight to get it. It's buyer psychology, and it's been proven over and over again to be true. Now, if this strategy still sounds scary and reckless, let me reassure you that it's not. Let's just say that something untoward happens, the worst case scenario, where you list something for 99 cents that was worth a lot more and it didn't receive many bids. Well, some sellers use eBay's facility to withdraw the item from sale up to 12 hours before the auction finishes. That's your choice, but my personal feeling is that an occasional incident where an item didn't reach its true value happens so rarely that you should still send the item and be happy about the 99% of times when you really raked in the cash. The completed listings section on eBay will provide you with all the proof you need about the benefits of this technique. You'll see the dramatic differences of the end result of auctions that had low and high starting prices. 99-cent auctions are one of the biggest kept secrets of eBay success because few people are bold enough to try it. So take a deep breath, suck it up, and list something for 99 cents with no reserve. You'll be so glad you did. If you enjoyed this article and you'd like to know more about how you can use eBay as a marketing tool for your business, grab the special pack of training materials I've put together for free at www.sendmyfreegift.com. Head on over there now to www.sendmyfreegift.com.